Hey everybody! Today I'm going to talk about a day in the life of a musician. So, for the past 2 weeks, I've been writing a song for my piano students. So I'm a songwriter. That's my passion at heart. But I enjoy teaching piano students, and I've done it for like 43 years. So, I am putting together a spring recital for my piano students. So, some of my students are just my grandkids that I just started teaching, and they don't quite know how to play a full song yet. But I have an older student who is advanced, and I want there to be some substance to the recital. So I decided that I would write a song for my beginner students to sing. And if they're able to play a song by then, that's awesome. But this recital is in a month. And so here I am. This is kind of the crazy life of the day in the life of a musician. So songwriting has come naturally to me since I was about 5 years old. I started writing songs. I would write plays, and we had a back porch, and we grew up right next to my cousins, and I'd invite them over. I'd invite kids in the neighborhood over, and we would put on these plays. My older sister liked to do this too, but I would write the songs for them. And the very first song that I wrote was called Charlie Chance It, and I kind of did a play around him. So it was about this guy named Charlie Chance It and this woman who fell in love with him. So this is my very first song I ever wrote, and I remember it, so I'm going to sing it for you. It goes, Charlie, Charlie Chance It, darling, why you're so handsome, Charlie, take a chance on me. So there you go. That was my very first song when I was like 7 years old. So ever since then, I've been writing, and I write with passion, and I write from my heart. So a lot of times, music is just so healing, and not only does it connect your brain, and it can help students learn better in school, but it is so healing and uplifting. So if I'm ever feeling down, I will listen to some of my favorite songs. Like today I put on Spotify, and I have my favorite list on there. Or I will sit at the piano and I will play some of my favorite songs I've written. And sometimes songs come to me naturally, and sometimes I have to work for them. I've written a lot of songs for the church I belong to and for my community, for like children's plays or road shows, or women's get-togethers, women's conferences. So I've written lots of songs, but I also wrote a song for all of my kids when they were born, when they were babies. And so I've made that a family tradition, and now I have 5 grandbabies and another one on the way. And so I'm making it a tradition to write a song for all my grandkids as well. One of my favorite songs I've ever written. So I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs. But probably my favorite song that I wrote is for one of my little granddaughters, and I love to play it. And I just envision myself being in a meadow with children and skipping around, holding their hands and singing the song to them. Children are my other passion. I love children. I love playing with them. I love hearing them laugh. I love singing to them, singing with them. So that's what I do. So if you know a songwriter, most of the time we can't sleep at night because most of my songs come to me at midnight or in the middle of the night, and I can't go to sleep unless I get it out and write it down. And sometimes I'll have a beautiful song come to me in the middle of the night, and I'll go over it and over it in my head because it's like, I want to sleep. I don't want to do my song right now. And I'll tell myself, oh, I'll remember it in the morning. But then I don't remember it. So I have learned that I have to put my phone next to my bed, and if I wake up and I have a song in my head, I will sing the tune so that I can go back to bed and play it in the morning and remember it. Sometimes I can't go back to bed the last 2 weeks. So because I decided to write this song for my younger piano students for the recital, which is in a month, which is so crazy, I'm kind of driving myself crazy to get this song done, even though it's fun at the same time. So music comes to me naturally. Sometimes I just get downloads for songs. So it's always natural, but that doesn't mean it's easy. I think people don't realize everything that a songwriter has to put into a song. You need to know math because you have to make sure the timing is exactly right and precise, or the music doesn't work. Because like you have to put the bass notes with the treble clef notes, and if you add a violin, and if you add a trumpet or whatever you add, it has to all go together on the precise right timing. And so it can be tedious. It's very tedious to actually write the songs out. But when they come to me and they come to my soul and they come from my heart, I love creating them. And it's always worthwhile, even though it's a lot of work at the end of the day, in the day of the life of the songwriter, it is so fulfilling to be able to have accomplished that and to write songs that can be so beautiful and that you can share with yourself, that I can play when I'm feeling downhearted, or that I can share with other people to lift them up. So I love being a songwriter because I love music. So anyway, I'm kind of driving myself crazy by writing this song on time for my piano students to sing in May, and here it is the middle of April. But it will be worth it to me in the end. So that's what I've been doing today. It's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, is that I've been trying to write the song and help my students learn it, as well as learn their piano pieces. But also, Mother's Day is coming up. So about 20 years ago, I wrote a song for my mother, and I wrote it from the heart. That's how I write music. I sit down. Sometimes the tune will just come to me. Other times I'll get little pieces and glimpses, and I'll sit at the piano and I'll just try to play it out over and over and over, and then I add to it. But sometimes also I wanted to say when I'm feeling down, or when I feel like I'm not understood, or I'm feeling lonely, I will sit at the piano and I will write my feelings onto the piano. And that's how the music comes to be, is put all my feelings and my thoughts and who I am and my soul, my heart and soul, into my music. So that's what comes out on the piano keyboard. So that's how I write music. So anyway, I wrote this song for my mother about 20 years ago, and it's called When I Think of You, Mother. So it's kind of a Mother's Day theme song. So I sent it to my church because they have a annual church music contest, and it won an award. And I thought, okay, that's cool. And then they performed it in my church, a group of people sang. And then, so the LDS church, who I belong to, they announced about 7 years ago that they were coming out with a new hymn book. We've had a hymn book for over 100 years. And then we also have a children's hymn book for children. And so they decided to redo a whole new hymn book and add new hymns. And to add, they also are doing the new children's hymn book and adding new songs to that. So because my song had won this award several years back, after the church announced that they were coming out with these new hymn books, they actually contacted me. And they said, hey, we're considering putting your song, When I Think of You, Mother, into the new children's hymn book. Are you okay with that? And I was like, are you kidding me? Am I okay with that? Of course. Yes, that would be my greatest honor and pleasure, because one of my greatest goals and dreams, and I have my vision board up right next to me, is to be able to share my music. I mean, I've written so many songs, and I'll sit, and I'm single and I live alone, and I sit and think to myself when I play, I'm like, who's ever going to hear these songs? Like, I've written all these songs, and who do I share them with? They're who I am. They're about my soul and my heart and everything I think and feel, and I have nobody to share them with. But that isn't true, because I've realized over the years I have been able to share for events or church or group settings. But the real intimate songs that are from my heart, I've kept them to me. And it's like, am I going to be like Emily Dickinson, where her poetry wasn't discovered until after she died? And it's like, I sure hope that my daughter will go through my music and do something with it after I'm gone, if that happens. And if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, if it does, that's one of my goals and dreams, and that would be awesome. But so the church contacted me and asked me that, but then they emailed us all, whoever sent a submission, and said we got way more than we expected, and it's going to take us a while to get through them all. Then COVID hit, so they couldn't get through them, but now they've mostly come out with the ones that are going to be in the book, and mine didn't make it, unless I somehow get surprised tomorrow and they still put a few more in. But it's okay, because just having the honor of even being considered meant a lot to me, and I was able to share my song. So anyway, I used to live in Alpine, Utah, and about 3 years ago, my bishop knew I wrote this. So the bishop is the head person of the congregation, and they have musical numbers a lot during our church services. And so he asked to have this song performed in our church service. And so the young women performed it, and that was really cool, and that was an honor. But now I go to the same church congregation as my daughter because I moved and I live right next to my daughter, which is so cool and it's so fun. And I get to see my 5-year-old granddaughter every day, and I love it. I love it. Like I said, music and children are my passion. And writing. I do a lot of poetry and I love to share. I've written 9 novels and 3 other books about my life, but that's another story. But anyway, so my daughter knew I had written this song about mothers, and so she asked the person in our church congregation who was over the music director, if they could sing this song that I wrote for Mother's Day, for the Mother's Day program. And so they agreed, and they were like, yeah, that will be great. So, knowing me, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to music, and I just have to make it all right. It all has to work perfectly together. So anyway, the original version is just really simple because it's for children to sing. It's really simple and it's short. And so a few years back, I had started writing an arrangement with my song, When I Think of You, Mother, with one of the primary children's songs that's in our children's hymn book that's called Mother, I Love You, and they sing it every year in the church program for Mother's Day. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do an arrangement and do a medley of my song and that song. So I had tried a few years back to write one, but it was kind of off. And I didn't really like it as much as I wanted to. So being stubborn and determined and a perfectionist and wanting to make this right, if it's going to be shared in front of people, me being the crazy songwriting musician, I had to decide to rewrite the whole arrangement within a week so that the women can sing it in 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is, for Mother's Day. And here I am racking my brains and stressing myself out trying to write 2 songs by mid-May, and I'm kind of driving myself crazy, but at the same time I love doing it. It's just the process. The process isn't always easy, even though the music usually flows to me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But in my life, for the last 2 weeks, I've spent a good portion of time at my piano trying to revamp and rewrite these songs and get them just right. Because I want them to be at their best, highest potential that they can be for a song. And so I can't sleep until I get it done, and I have to do it just right. And my daughter was like, Mom, you're stressing yourself. Don't rewrite it. We'll just do the simple original version. And it's like, no, I'm a songwriter. I have to do this. I have to do it. So a day in the life of a songwriter, I've been sitting at the piano every day for the last 2 weeks trying to get these songs done. But it's going to be so worth it in the end. And it's going to be so rewarding to hear it sung. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. So that's the day in the life of a songwriter musician. Oh, and I can write a song for you. I write song for people. If you want to reach out to me, or if you are a songwriter or a singer, I'm looking for singers to sing my song. I would love to collaborate with you. I'm in Provo, Utah. So if you want to reach out, and even if you're not close, we can do, I've worked with musicians in Florida and New York, and we can do it over the internet now. So anyway, there's ways to do it, but I hope you enjoyed my little daily in the day, now I can't even say it, a day in the life of a songwriter, perfectionist musician. Have a good night.